ISRL Esports for round number 5 of 7 of the ISRL Esports Championship in Tier 1. We're here at Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. I'm joined today by Fallen Monkeys in the commentary booth. I didn't get to do my Friday IGK series on Twitch, so that's probably why they came out of my mouth. But nonetheless,
no worries. Honestly, no worries.
Great to have you in the commentary booth, of course, as we get set for ISRL action here. Round number 5 is coming up. We have a full qualifying session, 1, 2, and 3, and then we have a 50% race to determine who's going to win here. And it's a full grid here today in Monza. Fallen Monkeys, that is probably the worst time to have a full grid here at this kind of track, especially going into turn 1. Of course, great to see you anyway, but what are we expecting?
Oh, yeah.
The kind of chaos that we've already seen in the past 2 tiers in this race.
Honestly, yeah, I'm seeing some chaos into turn 1. I mean, it is tier 1, so the drivers are definitely aware, but I mean, Monza turn 1 is still Monza turn 1. You could still be the best in the world, and you know, it's bound to happen, I think, especially with the 20 grid. We've got dynamic weather on as we normally do, so, you know, if we throw a little bit of rain into the race too, that could, bring some even more fun to the, to the session. But I'm excited to get qualifying sorted out. Let's see if anybody can out-qualify Suicrown 19, who's kind of been running away with the championship, I feel, wouldn't you say?
He has definitely been doing that. It's actually 4 for 4 right now for Sweet Crown 19 in this championship, looking to make it 5 for 5 here in Monza. And there's really been virtually no drivers that have, really came to the battle. We've had a few drivers here and there. Of course, Cher has done very well as well. Jordan, he has done well there as well. But really not a lot of drivers that I can say, realistically speaking, at the moment that are on Sweet Crown 19's level right here in this championship who are going to come at him for a victory here at Monza. And looking to make it 5 for 5, still looking for that perfect season, which in Formula 1 history has never happened. May it happen in ISRL Season 2 as we come towards Season 3, of course. Here at Monza, coming through the Lesmos is Gurman, and he is going to be the first driver to set a lap here as he's now coming towards Ascari, the second DRS detection zone on track. There is not one actually out of Ascari, which I've always thought there should be. But Fallen Monkeys, what does it take for a driver around here at Monza to remain good on track, remain in contention here to get a possible good points haul and possibly a victory?
I mean, of course, you know, there's a reason why they call it the Temple of Speed, so you're definitely going to want to set up geared towards, towards top speed, not necessarily have to worry too much about the cornering. But at the same time, we were talking about turn 1 and turn 2 earlier, that chicane. As we saw in the other races, I'm sure we're going to see here, you need to be careful and really have your braking points on hand. And I also feel you're going to have to watch out for the curves.
Gurman.
Oh, actually, there we go. Speaking
big
of.
Slide out of turn 1. He hit 219 miles per hour before braking in the turn number 1, but he had a big slide through there, and you have to be careful through a lot of these high speed and then very hard braking zones. Car does want to step out of you, especially in the Lesmos, which is where I tend to lose a lot of my time on track. Let's see how he goes through the first one. And it's looking okay. He clips the curb on the inside. You don't generally want to do that. It does tend to unsettle the car a little bit. Find the clip that curb, on the curb there out of the exit, and onto the DRS straight coming towards the Ascari. He actually has a car ahead of him right now, and I believe that's a car on an outlap. Oh, he's got a big training hard right now.
Let's see, might be able to get some slipstream out of him going down this back straight here. Oh no, they did a good job moving out of the way for him.
It would have been a little tough for him to get it, especially with 3 cars back to back to back. But Gurman is coming around Parabolica, and he will set the first lap of the day. Let's see what that time's going to be across the line. It is a 1:19.9. We can definitely go faster than that, but it's on pole for the moment.
Oh yeah, good on him already. First time of the day, and we're already sub 120, which is
Sweet Crown 19 is now setting a lap.
Oh yeah, let's jump over to him, see what he can do.
In the
on the medium tires too.
Medium tires in that Rocket Williams car. Unfortunately, no longer Rocket Williams, as they, in the real world of Formula One, the title sponsor Rocket and Williams are no longer a thing, unfortunately. Williams coming into some hard financial times, but nonetheless, we're watching Sweet Crown 19 in the worst car of 2019, doing quite well in this championship. Of course, cars are on equal, so except for a few chassis differences which tend to change the handling, the cars are equal in performances. You see Vito and Estunik are behind German, second and third, but quite far off the pace, especially Estunik, a 124 for his first lap. And there's a spin, and that's a McLaren in front of him, and that was
I think that was Biz Racing.
It was Biz
still
Racing.
Moving on, so let's jump to, that's Biz Racing, who's parked it up on Ascari, and I wanted to mention that too, because you need to watch out for that. I mean, those who've raced Monza know about the bump.
Sweet Crown
Ascari,
19 goes second.
curb.
It's a 120.2 behind German, actually, so he did not get the fastest lap of the race. So, sorry, fastest lap of Q1 so far. Again, just remember, we are doing a full qualifying session, so Young Lights goes fastest with a 119.8. So Young Lights in that Rich Energy Haas car, again, another car whose title sponsor is wrong, especially this year. They never removed it off of the car, though. The Haas car doing quite well in, right now, Young Lights on pole at the moment in Q1.
Oh, yeah. And I think, Young Lights, he had a good race around, if I recall correctly, around Interlagos at Brazil. And honestly, I feel like he's been doing a good job carrying that momentum. And we'll see early on, he still has that momentum. Feeling the car now a little bit near the latter stages of of season 2. But we'll have to see. It is still early in qualifying, only Q1, so the times don't really mean all that much. Compared to what we'll see in Q2, Q3, but it's still
catastrophic. Was very unstable out of Ascari there, and almost lost the car out of the exit. He is currently on his hot lap right now. Everybody else is in the pits or set laps. Young Lights retired from the session, and I don't know why he's dropped all the way down there. It's a 119.8, so I think it's just because he is retired. Going very wide out of the Parabolica, but still okay is catastrophic. Comes across the line. 7th fastest on the grid. So Young Light's very confident that's going to get him into Q2.
Yeah, Q2. I'm not too sure if he forcefully retired or if he just lost on Ascari and binned it into the wall. Because I know we've seen that's
the case. So yeah, Young Lights did crash. He just confirmed that in the comments. So he has crashed. So if you retire, it keeps your position. If you crash, I don't believe it keeps your position, because as you can see, he's 15th right now on the grid. So if he gets dropped down a few more positions, that's going to be bad news for Young Lights.
Oh yeah, I think just one more, if he gets dropped down, then just like that, that's his qualifying over after having set pretty fast time for Q1.
ISRL Knight comes out of the pit lane, and we definitely know he can go faster than what the fact that he doesn't have a time at all, but he had the fastest lap in the Tier 1 race in Japan, so we definitely know this guy has some pace. And that's I believe that's a Stunik behind him, who is also, I believe his Stunik's on a lap, actually.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Knight definitely has some pace. It was a little unfortunate he couldn't set a time in the in last week's qualifying, and I'm sure he's looking to make up for it now, because from what I was hearing, I think he might have been a little bit bored during qualifying, having to sit and watch. And especially in his battle for the championship, he's currently sitting in 7th, so he's probably going to want to be qualifying a good race to maybe climb up into the Tier 1 standings here in the back half of the season.
In that Red Bull car, he likes that Red Bull, and he was telling me in one of just a little fun lobby, I just love the Red Bull. It's very nice handling. It's got great turning, especially on the slow speeds, which is something I tend to struggle a lot on, is the slow speeds in these cars. As Dan Murphy goes fastest with a 119.6. We're definitely expecting 118s, as look at this. The sister team of the Toro Rosso is working with the mother team of the Red Bull. So there's a little bit of real-life sister team, mother team going on right now, as ISRL Knight gets a huge amount of slipstream.
Yeah, and I think that was a Stunik. He's on four lap old hard tires here in the first qualifying, giving a bit of a hand to the mother team there.
As he
Not
goes
too
fastest
sure if,
in the fastest first sector for ISRL Knight in Monza. Definitely helped by that big straight line speed. Ooh, goes quite wide in there though, but stays okay. Josh 2 is second fastest with a 1:19.8, so he's doing quite well in the Ferrari. And Knight now coming down the second DRS street. He's a little bit further behind some other cars. If you can catch up to them if they're on slow laps, that's a purple sector 2 for ISRL Knight. So on the charge right now, coming out of Ascari, pretty stable. He's got cars ahead of him who I think are on outlaps right
Williams.
now. The two Williams
kind of helping each other out a little bit, it seems.
And I think he may have gone. Knight may have gone remnants of that slipstream. He goes quite wide out of Parabolka, but stays on track okay. Here he comes across the line, and I believe this will be pole position, and it's 1:19.3 in Q1. So ISRL Knight, reverse of fortunes from Japan. He is on pole position right now in Q1. So doing quite well in qualifying, and that should solidify his spot.
Oh, definitely solid lap from him. He's had a lot of practice racing the Tier 4 race yesterday, and you know, so far it looks like he's got some good pace on those on that soft tire at least.
Blend Machine about to set a lap. They had Knight and Blend Machine had contact in Suzuka. He comes across the line. It's a 1:20.9, puts him 11th fastest. That should be okay for Q2. But let's talk about Blend Machine and Knight. They had a collision. Knight making a move on the 130R turn of Suzuka, and they made contact. It was a 5-second penalty for Blend Machine coming for that contact. What do you think of that incident? Is that going to play at all maybe into future racing for those two? I know that it was lighthearted, very much so, but you know, even those little moments there of fun do tend to change your feelings about certain drivers. Maybe you race them a little bit differently next time.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's easy to say once the race is done, like, oh, it was no worries, all is fine. But you know, once you're in the driver's seat, you know, it's even happened to me that I've run into incidents with other people, and then all of a sudden they're in front of me, and I'm just seeing red. There's that extra motivation to, you know, to make the move, maybe get a little bit impatient as well. I guess Pube looked like he's taking a bit of a chicane. I noticed in the turn 1, didn't really too much care. I guess he finished his lap. But,
did he cut the chicane, or did he?
I mean, he went through it. He's on his in lap, but he did the you know, the left as you're supposed to do. So it's not like I wouldn't worry too much about it, to be completely honest.
Well, it doesn't really matter if you do that anyway, because I got slapped with 2 10-second time penalties despite taking the chicane, literally stopping my car on track, and the game still gave me a 10-second time penalty. So I don't think they really care if you take the chicane in the game. They'll give you a penalty anyway.
Oh yeah, especially this, you know, it's Q1, Pube's in fifth. It's not like he's got much
definite cut by Jamie, and I don't know if he lost the braking zone there, but that was a serious cut of the second chicane there.
Let's see. It looks like he's on 3-lap old soft.
It is against
probably on an in-lap at this point.
It is against the rules, especially tracks like Monza, where it's very easy to cut major parts of the circuit. It's against the rules to cut major parts of the track to get into the pit lane quicker. So drivers should be wary of that. They have been warned multiple times. We did see it happen in the, I believe it was the Weekday series in Monza. Mushroom cut a large portion of the chicane, which is now being investigated.
Yeah, I think that was the Tier 4 series, I think, on Saturday, the race. But,
yes, no, you're right. It was the Tier 4 race, sorry.
Yeah, but compared to short qualifying, where, you know, the times you set are exactly that, I feel like it's a little bit more, you know, when you're considering into Q1, if you're already in a, you know, in P2, P3, having set a good time, I mean, are you really earning that much of an advantage if you're making it through? I mean, if you're doing it in Q3 where you need that last, you want all that extra second to truly get that pole position, then okay, yeah. Maybe,
I mean, I think for certain drivers it matters, but I mean, if you're into the 119s in qualifying, I don't think you have too much to worry about. So we're getting confirmation from ISRL night. It's going to be a cloudy race with no rain in sight. So that is good to see for us. That means faster racing, means closer racing, and hopefully a good battle. If you didn't watch... Sorry, if you didn't watch the other two races, you can watch them. They happen just a little bit earlier, and you can catch all of the extreme action, even catch me scoring my first points in ISRL. There's Jamian has retired, so he is sitting third, so I believe he retired in the pit lane. He believes he is done. Dan Murphy is going to come out for another lap.
Yep, and I was watching Sophion. He sets a 1:19.8, so pretty solid lap time by him. That actually bumped Catastrophic down into the bubble spots. So with 3 minutes to go, if you're Catastrophic, you might want to maybe get another set of tires on, unless it doesn't look like it's no, he's going very slow. So no, if you're Catastrophic, Pretzels, the deck, Stunik, and even Carter, who still sitting in the pits and hasn't set the time yet. So I'm actually not sure what Carter's strategy is for Monza qualifying. If he just wants to start from the back, maybe he's AFK for the moment. Do you know anything about that?
I'm not sure. I mean, it's not a terrible idea to start at the back. Anything can happen in the turn number one. I do want to focus right now on Sofian, who's on a lap right now, sitting 6th on the grid. I do also want to mention Sweetcrow 19 is at 1:20.1. with a few drivers behind him who do not have fantastic times. Maybe Sweet Crown dropped a few positions. He's on an out lap right now. Sofian into the pits. He was not happy with that lap. Here comes Dan Murphy. He's the other driver. He's in the top 5. Going to try to set a lap time. Can he go quickest here in this session? No, he will go into the pits as well, and I presume retire from Q1. But Sweetcar 19 is on an outlap right now. He should get around for another one. I don't think he believed he was safe. I didn't think he was safe with that 1:20.1 for him. It would have been very, very close, as Vito, I don't believe, is on a lap. No, he is on another lap. Let's see how much straight line speed he's getting into turn 1. It's, again, 219 miles per hour. That is generally what we've seen without slipstream, of course. Let's see if Vito can get into the top 10 here. Again, he's in a bit of a danger zone right now. Isaac Kush is also in a bit of a danger zone for 120.7. These 120 times are not safe times. Those 121.1s for Tier 1, I don't believe are very respective of anybody's pace. So these guys got to get faster. They want to get at least edging towards 119 territory if they want to make it in the Q2.
Oh yeah, but when it comes to Iza and Sukar 19, they're both setting times on the medium tires. So it's a bit of a, if you're feeling confident, then for sure. But if you're in a situation like Iza and even Sweet Crown, where you're kind of approaching that bubble spot, it might not be a bad idea to at least get a time on the soft just to be comfortable. But we'll see.
Isaac Kush is coming out of the Scary. Isaac Kush has aborted this lap, I believe. He's going quite slow down the straight, so he is done with qualifying. So he has a 120.7. A few drivers behind him are getting ready to set laps, or are setting laps right now. He might be in the danger spot there. We see Sweetcar 19 coming through the first Lesmo as well. Sweetcar 19's got help here with a McLaren ahead of him, so he might catch a little bit of a lingering slipstream off the driver there. Maybe just an extra mile per hour or two, but with drivers like this, it's very easy to gain a little bit of advantage. No, Sweetcar 19's down actually on his lap, so I believe yep, and there is an invalidation. Sweetcar 19 does not set another lap time. Kush and Sweetcar 19 will finish in their respective spots, 10th and 12th right now. Here comes Blinn Machine coming around Parabolica. He's in 13th right now on the grid, looking to improve. He's behind Isaac Kush. Does he drop Isaac Kush down a position? Let's see what the time is. Yes, Isaac Kush down a position now, down the 13th. And Scarlo is behind him, so I believe he's safe right now for qualifying, as most of the drivers behind have finished their laps. Pretzels is on a lap, but I don't believe he's gonna. So I think Kush is safe, and so is Sweetcar 19. So,
well, Pretzels just at a purple sector 2, so it looks like he's got a bit of a faster lap compared to what he's done previously. I'm not too sure about Scarlo though. Is he if he's on his flying lap or if he's on an in lap right now?
He's not using any ERS, so he is. On
okay. Yeah, so must be on an in lap. I would have maybe pushed the last lap just in case. But let's see what Pretzels can do crossing the line. There we go.
8th on the grid ahead of Gurman.
And that's bad news for Scar Lowe, who's not really using any ERS, just because I think that actually bumps him into 16th, and that actually bumps him into the knockout of Q1.
So it's 16th through 20th, I believe, that gets knocked out. So it's going to be Scarlo, Catastrophic, The Deck, Estunik, and Carter, who did not set a lap time in qualifying.
Yep, seems like it. Like I said, I'm not too sure why Carter didn't bother setting a time. Maybe he really wants to start from the back, not looking to get into any trouble into the first turn once the race starts. But you know, I would have at least gone out and done a banker lap just to kind of get a feel for the car in the actual session, compared to, you know, just how it feels when you're doing your time trials, when you're just kind of running practice lobbies where, you know, it doesn't matter as much, I guess, compared to the actual race itself.
So knocked out. So no, it is 15th place as well that gets knocked out. So Young Lights does not make it in the Q2, despite that obvious 119.8 that would have got him into Q2. So because of that crash, Young Lights does not make it in the Q2. Disappointing for him, having such a great lap in Q1, and he is out of the first session due to that crash. So it is confirmed there. If you crash instead of just retiring in the pit lane, you will drop down positions, and he is out. So 15th as well, Scarlo and Catastrophic. We have two boys from ISRL. That's Estunik and Carter, who did not make it into Q2 as well. I believe as well, if I can see there. Yep, so the Deck as well there, not making it in. So the racing points are out. One of the Mercedes, a Toro Rosso, and a Haas. Both Haas drivers out of qualifying.
Yep, and it makes it a bit of an interesting top 14. I guess I figure with Young Lights, maybe the crew couldn't get the car fixed up in time and just had to retire there from the qualifying session. Because I always thought it was the 16 to 20 that was knocked out. But either way, we'll trek on into Q2. So it looks like there's it's either Gernman, yeah, that's Gernman, who's going out to try to get a time on the board as quick as possible in this Q2 session.
So it's right now Q2. Let's go over real quick. 15 minutes in Q2 to set the fastest lap possible. It's Pube, Pretzels, Jer, Dan Murphy, Sweet Crown 19, Josh 2, Gurman, Blin Machine, Knight, Vito, Isaac Kush, Sophian, Jamian, and Biz Racing. As Gurman is on an invalidated outlap, but I don't think he cares.
Yep, he took a bit of an interesting line through the first few turns there. Tried to I think he tried to pop the e-brake a little bit too much and sort of initial D around his turn, and didn't quite work out too well for him. Thankfully, it's the outlap, so it's not like the time matters too much. But I do want to say that now in Q2, this is where the strategy comes into play, right? Because if you're in the top 10, the tires you set your time on is the tire you're going to have to start the race with. So if you're one of the faster drivers, it might not be a bad idea. Maybe see what kind of time you can do on the medium tires. Maybe get a bit of a strategy advantage compared to everybody else who might be starting on the soft tires.
But the thing is, you also have to think about, especially a track like this, the softer your tires are, the better speeds you're going to get down the straights as well. So that is something to come into question here. And a track like this, the straight line speeds are what will make the difference when it comes down to the thousandths of seconds difference between drivers. So we'll have to wait and see if they do in fact decide to do that. And in fact, at the start of the race as well, getting good grip off the start.
Oh yeah. No, that is a valid point there. I mean, in my experience, when I was in the soft tires, even with the Tier 2 race, I felt they fell off a cliff. In my experience, maybe it's my setup, but they barely lasted 6 laps.
When I did it, well, actually, I had them last quite a bit. I also did have to do most of them on their safety car, though, was still catching up to the queue, so I used a lot of them. But I also did set my car up for dry, even though it was pretty wet at the time. because I knew it was going to get dry at the end. And so look at this. There's a German, I believe, Mercedes, having problems coming out in some of the turns. So German, I think he just aborted his lap because he definitely broke way too early.
Not the best lap by Gerdman. In the oh my goodness. I completely forget what the. I think it's turn 6, turn 7. I completely forget what the right before Scary. The two right-handers there, like yes, the Lesmos. Thank you. He didn't really have a great turns around the Lesmos, so probably a good call from him to abort the lap, save the tires a little bit, maybe put another pair on.
Sweet Crown 19 just invalidated his time, so that first lap is not going to be valid. Hughes will be though, and he's going to have slipstream off of his teammates. So the Williams working in tandem here in Q2. As you can see there, Pugh is taking the soft tires as he goes fastest on track. So Sweet Crown 19, right there. So that was a clear cut, I believe, from Sweet Crown 19. Again, we do want to preface, drivers are not supposed to cut major parts of the track. And it's a little more obvious around places like Monza, where there's very easy parts to cut the track there. So I don't think Sweet Crown attempted to break too much into the chicane there. But
yeah, I'm not too sure what happened there. If he just forgot about the brake pedal or whatnot. But no, I thought Pugh was actually right behind Sweet Crown, and
Pugh has an invalidated lap as well.
Oh yeah, so I'm not too sure what happened with the Williams car. Pretzels is actually the first to set a time. He sets nearly a 120 flat. So not necessarily the time we were expecting to see, as he sets even closer to a 120 flat.
And then Josh 2 goes third. And let's see, there's a few drivers down the grid here, as that's Jamie, who goes fourth. Trying to catch up with somebody who's about every time I get to a driver, they set a time. And it's Biz Racing who gets into the 119.4s. So currently a 1-2 McLaren right now in Q2. And again, there is not as much time in Q2 as Q1, only 15 minutes. So we're already into the under 10-minute range. And it's a McLaren 1-2 right now in qualifying 2. Biz Racing into the 119s for the first time here. Jamie, obviously not a great lap, 127.0, so he will go out again and for sure set a much faster lap time.
Oh, 100%. Might have just been a banker lap just to put a time in there. You know, just better to have a time than no time at all, I feel. But
Vito comes across fourth fastest, 120.1. So the drivers are getting quite close into the 119s there. Josh 2 and is a little bit further off by about half a second.
Yeah, but honestly, given what we saw in Q1, I was expecting to see more 119s here in Q2. I mean, 120, it's not bad, but I thought we were gonna start kicking things off with the 190s. 119s in Q2, but there's still lots of time to go. The track is still warming up, getting the grips, so probably only going to see faster times as we move on here.
As here is ISRL Knight. He comes across the line, and he is going to begin his first lap in qualifying 2. The last thing you want to do is be in the mid-pack, so drivers are going to desperately want to get into the top 10, as the mid-pack is the most dangerous part to be in this race. Though even being at the front, if somebody just loses their braking a little bit, which is so very easy to do in the turn number 1, your race can be flipped upside down in a heartbeat. And it's Knight who goes fastest in Sector 1. So doing quite well right now here in Monza in qualifying 2. Coming out of the first Lesmo and into the second. Let's see how he goes through here. Looking good. Ooh, a little bit unstable out of the exit. Puts it on the curb. Looking well, though. DRS is activated. Coming down with overtake activated in his ERS. And he comes out of Sector 2. Not fastest to Sector 2, so not the best there. As coming out of this Scary, looking okay. Uses a little bit of the curb on the exit, but still valid. And coming down towards the Parabolica, where he will finish his lap. As you can see there, the There's a driver, I believe it was, well, somebody set a lap time. Here comes Knight across the line. He's going to go into 7th fastest, so he was fastest in the first sector, but it's only a 1:20.6, and that's going to put him 7th on the grid right now.
Now, I'd say keep an eye on Dan Murphy. He set a purple sector, too, as he was coming around. He's just about to cross the line now. He's on the medium tires. Okay, a little bit slowed down a little bit, but still not a bad time for the medium tires, too. And I was saying maybe that could play into the strategy a little bit if he makes it into the top 10 shootout.
Jer coming into turn number 1, 219 miles per hour. Again, that is the time we've seen. Again, drivers are not getting a lot of slipstream. I've not been seeing too much of it. It was not used effectively. Sweet Crown 19 is fastest in the 2nd sector as he's coming down out of the Scari into the Parabolica. Let's see what he can do. Can he put it on pole for the first time in qualifying? He's on that soft compound tire, so we know the tire that drivers want to be on for this race as he comes around Parabolica, coming across the line. What time will Sweet Crown 19 set? And it's a 1:19.3, close to the 1:18s, which we haven't seen yet, but we know that's possible. We saw it in Tier 4. So Sweet Crown 19, there goes Pubed, 3rd fastest. So the Williams split the McLarens, and each of them get ahead of the respective McLaren. 1st and 3rd for them. Biz Racing goes into 2nd, but he's still in a pretty good position right now, so doing well. But Sweet Crown 19 back into pole with about 5 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in qualifying.
Now, so here we go. Let's see. There we go.
Ooh, Jer goes fastest.
Bring him up. Jer. That's a 1:19.2. I was watching his lap. Pretty solid lap from him, and there we go. Reaps the fruit of his labor, I guess. Puts himself into a provisional pole for this Q2 session.
I'd also want to say Blend Machine has gone to 8th in the. He had not set a lap time. He's currently in the top 10 right now in qualifying, though he's again a little on the edge right there. As you can see, Knight. Oh, look at this. Somebody up. 2nd fastest for Josh 2 in the Ferrari. A little bit of a surprise there, but he does well and puts it in 2nd. Pushes Sweet Crown 19 down to 3rd. That's Pube down to 5th. So we're seeing a little bit of jostling of positions here, getting ourselves excited here. We haven't seen a new winner in ISRL. Could we see it here at Monza? Is this the track to beat Sweet Crown 19? We'll have to wait and see. We have a few drivers who are in danger zone. Of course, Gurman on the edge. Dan Murphy. I expect Dan Murphy to get out of Q2. Jamian is 13th, and especially I expect Jamian to get out of there. And I actually think Knight should get out of there too. There's about 4 minutes left to go in qualifying. Sofian has not yet set a time in qualifying, so he is nowhere near his respective Ferrari teammate.
No, yeah, I'm not too sure what Sofian's doing. Just sitting in the pits. Maybe he's going for a one and done right at the end of the Q2 session when the track is the warmest. I'm keeping an eye on. Well, Jamie when he's on that. I thought he was on a flying lap there. So, all right, I guess I'll get back to Jamie one a little bit later.
Gurman is coming down the DRS. He's on a lap right now, coming towards the Scari. Vito is on a lap. But no,
I think he's on an actual flying lap now.
No, he is saving up his DRS, going for another one again.
Yeah, okay, well, let's see. Maybe, is he going to go into the pits, or is he going to go around one more time? There we go. Now he pops it into hot lap mode. So I guess now he's going to try to set a lap for real now.
Here comes Gurman. Overtake activated. DRS activated. Here we go. Coming down the start-finish line. Jamie goes fastest. It's an exact same time as Jer's time in qualifying.
Wow.
That is something you don't see every day, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I honestly don't think I've ever seen that in my, in my F1 career, whether it be in the commentary booth or...
Right.
Yep, or, like, that's, wow,
Giving you shades of Jerez in the 1990s when it was Schumacher versus Jacques Villeneuve for the championship. And there was 3 identical times in qualifying there. That was when they did each driver coming out for their own separate lap, so pretty insane. Could we see another driver get into that 1:19.212? So they're tied for pole position at the moment. Gurman is, oh, look at this. Nice slipstream for the Red Bull cars right there, as Knight played in perfectly, just coming out towards the Parabolica. As let's see what Gurman can do here. Can he go fastest in qualifying? A little too wide out of Parabolica. Keeps it on the track, though, out of the green, which is what you want to do. Comes across the line. Only 8th fastest, so not that close. But now it's actually going to be ISRL Knight who gets the good slipstream from his teammate. They worked this out to perfection right now. And, oh, that's a cut. That's, again, I don't know if he did that on purpose, but you're not supposed to cut the track. And it was actually Knight who warned me about this, so let's just hope and see. I'm going to wait again if he cuts this portion of the track. That's a clear. That was a clear cut there from him, but he did let go his teammate, as you actually see Knight picked up a little bit of gravel out of the exit there.
Yeah, so it doesn't seem like the best lap for Knight, at least at first glance here, as he was picking up gravel in that sector too. But yeah, I mean, management's warned the drivers time and time again. You can't be cutting the turns this late in qualifying to
that's a fastest
to get
second
back to
sector for ISRL Knight, so looking to get into the top 10 here. He should be able to do so. He's coming out of Ascari, and let's see what he can do. Sector 3 coming towards the Parabolica. He should be able to get into the top 10 here. ISRL Knight looking for a return of fortune here in Monza. Coming across the line at Monza. It's going to be... Ooh, only 10th. It's only 10th for ISRL Knight. So that's a 1:19.8. It's still pretty far off from a few other drivers down there. But Dan Murphy, he hasn't... Oh, but Dan Murphy's not coming out. That's surprising. Sofian is on an outlap. It says he's on a lap, on an outlap for me, but I don't know if that's true.
Nope, Sofian's on a flying lap. I can confirm that from what I saw, from what I was paying attention to earlier. So he's on a lap. It looks like Blinn Machine is also on a lap right now.
Just off of the time, about he's off by 5 thousandths of a second in Sector 2. Not a lot of time to be made in Sector 3, so it's going to have to do... Oh, but he got a little bit of slipstream right there from McLaren. Yep. So that is going to help him a little bit coming towards Parabolica. Can he put it in the top 10 here? Blinn Machine trying to get ahead of Knight. Would this spice up the rivalry just a little bit? He comes across the line.
Oh, no. 11th. So now it's up to Sofian to see what his one lap, his one and done, is going to do here, as he's going to cross the line. There we go. That actually knocks Knight out.
Knocks Knight out of Q2, and he will not make it into Q3, so unfortunate for him. And look at the gap between 11th and 10th. It is hundredths of a second between those two drivers.
Oh my goodness.
Knight must be kicking himself not to have gone. Oh, that's a big accident right there for Sofian. Actually hit the back of the AI hit the back of a McLaren right there, and his tire is off, and he is out of qualifying technically, but thankfully the session ended.
Yeah, but no, just for a little bit of added salt to the wound. I think Knight's actually out of gas as he was coming into the pits.
Oh boy! So into the pit lane with a little bit of shame on his helmet right there, as he was not able to make it in the Q3. Unfortunate for him in this session. As we go moving on to qualifying number 3, and I believe it's 8 minutes. With the top 10 fastest drivers to see who gets pole position here at Monza. Thank you for watching ISRL Esports. This is the Italian Grand Prix, round number 5 of 7 in the championship for tier number 1. And if you like the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to ISRL Esports and put on those notifications with the bell, and you can get up to date with action here. As so interestingly enough, it knocks out
the top 9.
Top 9. I don't know what the game's doing. So Sofian's knocked out of Q2, and I have no idea why that's the case.
it could just be an issue. Like maybe it's a bug just going back to Q1 where they knocked out. They went and knocked out
that makes me feel bad for Sofian.
20th.
He actually got into the top 10, and it still didn't let him into Q3. So no idea why that's the case, but Sofian must be very unhappy not to try the challenge to get further up the grid. Again, you want to be further up the grid in a race like this, especially coming into turn 1, but he does not make it in the into Q3. So that, I'm not too sure why that's the case, but nonetheless, it is unfortunate that he did not make it.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate, especially if the game locks his tire choice too, because he's still in the top 10, right? So that could be a bit of a double whammy for him if not only does he not get to compete for a better qualifying spot, but if he's stuck on that pair of soft tires that he set his Q2 time with, that's a bit of even more of a disadvantage.
So it's only 9 drivers in Q3. This should be interesting. Who gets it on pole here in Monza? Is it going to be Sweet Crown 19, or is somebody else going to upset him? He has not been fastest too much in the qualifying so far, so we'll have to see if Sweet Crown 19 can put it on pole here in Monza.
Oh yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, another guy who could put it on pole is actually his teammate that keep an eye on right now. Pube is going out for an outlap right now. But at the same time, this is going to be where we're truly going to see the pace, because you don't have to worry about the tires. You can just give them back at the end of the session. So we're truly going to see what the drivers can do pace-wise.
Sorry, it's 12 minutes. Session. It's 12 minutes in qualifying 3. Let's see who gets on pole. It's 9 drivers. It's Pube, Pretzels, Jer, Sweet Crown 19, Josh 2, ISRL Gurman, Isaac Kush, Damien S, and Biz Racing, all in Q3. Who puts it on pole at the historic Monza circuit here, which has held so many Italian Grand Prix over the years, and I'm sure it's going to be an exciting Tier 1 race, as we're not seeing the same kind of shenanigans as we saw in the 2019 real-life qualifying 3, which at the end, nobody cut a lap time in. Everybody was trying to get slipstream, but I don't think we're going to see that today.
Oh, no. Oh no, I really don't think we're going to end up that bad compared to how it was last year. But if we do, I'm going to get the Formula 1 flute handy just in case,
Just in case we get another interesting situation in Q3 here. As I'm riding on board of Gurman, I don't believe we'll have a few other drivers. So we have Pube, Jer, and Josh who are on laps right now. So I'm actually right on board of Pube. He's coming out of the chicane. Josh 2 through the chicane now. Sorry, Jer is not.
Jer went into the pits, it looks like. I'm going to keep an eye on Josh too. It's Italy. He's in the Ferrari car. Wouldn't that be something for this this digital crowd here to see the home team?
Unfortunately, he's not fastest in the first sector like Pube is.
It's not a great start, but I mean, taking a good sector 2 can make up a lot of time for you. It's really sector 3 that it's really hard to make up time unless you've got a really good line around Parabolica or just absolutely nail Ascari like nobody's business. But no purple times for Josh 2.
Josh 2 is not using any ERS either, so this is not a lap. Right?
Oh no, maybe he's aborted the lap.
Ooh, bad out of Parabolica for Pube. So he had a really bad time there. I think he might go. No, he's not going to go into the pits. What time will he set? It's a 1:19.6 flat, and that's fastest on track at the moment, but I think that's going to get beaten here.
That.
Pretzels is coming around. Parabolica a little bit on the green here. Josh 2 goes 3rd. Gurman, then Biz. Where will Pretzels go? Only 4th. Biz Racing for 1:19.2. What a lap from Biz Racing. Can he put it on pole here in Monza? We have not yet seen Sweet Crown 19 come across the line. Let's see what that sector 1. That's the fastest sector 1 for Sweet Crown 19. So on the charge, looking for pole here at Monza.
Yeah, and he got some tow from his teammate who was just from Pube, who was just finishing his lap there down the start-finish straight. So definitely a good start for Sweet Crown 19. So I'm expecting a good lap from him as he's as he's starting to approach the Scary chicane section there. But he's at, so it's a 1:19.246.
Sweet Crown 19. That's an invalidation from Sweet Crown 19. He will not set a lap here. That is unfortunate for him. I think he might be able to get another lap. He's got about 50% ERS left.
Oh no, what happened there? That's Josh out.
Josh out of qualifying. Only 6th fastest for 125.4. And that's so he crashed out of Ascari, I think. He did.
Yep. I think he clipped the outside curb on Ascari, just lost it a little bit, maybe in that little gravel patch, and right into the wall. Boom, that's his qualifying over, just like that.
So it's a McLaren 1-2 right now, as Isaac Kush is fastest and Biz Racing in second. Gurman in third. Busy pit lane here, ladies and gentlemen, but our Fallen Monkey's a little surprised here, as that's a double stack in the Williams pit garage there. That's going to cost some time for Pube.
Yeah, maybe not
Jamie
the
fastest on track of a 1:19.1. So that's Jamie who puts it on pole.
Oh yeah, and speaking of fast, Jer, who hasn't said the time yet, he's going around he's doing a flying lap now. Set up purple sector 1, and it looks like he's got a pretty solid pace as he's approaching the end of sector 2, approaching Ascari there.
Fastest in the purple sector 2. Let's see here. Coming out of Ascari, how does he do? Ooh, runs it wide, and that's an invalidation from Jer. And he did run wide out of Ascari. You can't run too wide, and that's an invalidation for him. Unfortunate. Jer was on a pretty good lap right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe I'm overshooting a little bit, but that seemed to be a pretty that was almost that looked like a pole type of lap for Jer. So heartbreak. I mean, Ascari takes another victim there. Could have been worse for him, but at the same time, it's not what you want to see, especially in Q3 with under 6 minutes to go. Because now he only has probably one more chance to set the lap time.
There is the Mercedes of Jamie and S, who is on pole right now here in Monza. Sweet Crown 19 is sitting dead last, though he's on an outlap, and I do suspect he will get far up the grid as long as he can get a valid lap time in. 5 minutes to go left in the session. He has to set a good lap time here because the lap he sets will maybe be his last one, in fact. I'm sure it will be his last one.
Yeah, because with 5 minutes to go, there's not too much time to go in, change the tires, and go back out, do the out lap. I mean, already we've seen it's about a minute 20 time, minute 20 basically, almost 4 minutes, I guess, if you're considering the lap times, and that's without the extra time it takes to go in and out of the pits.
Sweet Crown 19 coming around. We're going to ride on board with him. He needs to get on pole position here if he wants to be clear ahead of any packs coming into turn 1. Let's see what he can do. Comes across the line. Let's start a lap with Sweet Crown 19. Coming into turn number 1, braking a little earlier, coming through turn number 1, cutting a pretty decent amount of turn 1, but valid nonetheless. He's behind a driver right now. I don't know who that is. It looks like it's a Red Bull. It is Red Bull for Gurman. Let's see if Sweet Crown 19 can get a little bit of slisher off him. Fastest purple sector 1 for Sweet Crown 19, so he went even faster than he did before. Sweet Crown 19 can definitely have the pace to put it on pole here. Will he make it pole position again in ISRL Esports for round number 5? The Italian Grand Prix comes out of the second Lesmo with the DRS. Not too much of the curve used on the exit, coming towards the Ascari chicane. What's that sector 2 time? It is not the fastest sector 2 time we've seen, and that's an invalidation from Sweet Crown 19 in Q3. Sweet Crown 19 will not be able to challenge for a lap here unless he comes around again.
I think at this point, if you're Sweet Crown, I think you just say screw it and do another lap.
But he has below 50%. No, into the pits is Sweet Crown 19. Now we have about 3 minutes left to go in qualifying. He has to get, I don't think he has time to get out for another lap.
It'll be close. We'll have to see. We'll have to keep an eye on them before the end of the qualifying's over. It'll be very, very close because about a minute 20 to set a lap time, and then add another minute 20 for the out lap. So that's 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
He's not going to make it. We're under 2 minutes and 40 seconds here.
Yeah, but I mean, all he has to do is cross the line before the timer hits 0. So he might just be able to make it, but it's going to be very, very close, I think.
He's still going into the pits. He hasn't come out yet. They still haven't been able to get him out.
Yeah, I don't know if that's I don't know if he's going to have enough time for it. Now let's see, because it looked like Cubed actually, his teammate, was going into the pit lane as well, I think.
Here comes Sweet Crown 19, I believe. He's just about to come out. No, I'm not seeing him. There he is. There comes out a Williams guy. I believe that's going to be Sweet Crown 19. Yep, it is. Sweet Crown 19 coming out. Can he set a lap time here? 9th on the grid. There's 3 drivers, Jamian, Isaac, Kush, and Biz Racing, going for lap times right now on their out laps. Gurman is invalidated. He will not set another lap time here in qualifying. Sweet Crown 19 has to rush it around here if he wants to set a lap time. I think he might just about do it. It's going to be very close, but he always got traffic ahead of him. Traffic with drivers who are on out laps, I believe.
Yeah, so I'll have to see. I mean, that could play into Sweet Crown's hand just with the extra slipstream that they might give him. But yeah, I think Sweet Crown will have enough time to set a time. But now, you know, crossing the line in time is just part of the battle. He's already invalidated his lap times twice. Who's to say that he won't fall victim to the Ascari cut once again as he's doing his his one and done flying lap.
He's now coming behind one of the McLarens, Isaac Kush. About 40 seconds left in qualifying. Jamie came across the line. Kush is not yet came across the line. I'm sure he will. Here comes Biz Racing to start a lap. Gurman into the pits. He was not able to set another lap time. I don't think Pubed and Pretzels have enough time, especially, oh, maybe Pretzels. Pretzels definitely does. Pubed might be close here. Only 20 seconds left to go in the session. Pretzels comes across the line. Will start another lap. Sweet Crown 19 into turn number 1.
Yep, let's see. I'll keep an eye on Pube. I think he's just going to have enough time as he's exiting Parabolica now. Now let's see. Yeah, just barely crossed the line in time to set a lap. All right.
ISRL Gurman finishes in 4th. Here comes Jamian. Down in Sector 2, I believe, for Jamian. Can he put it into the 118s? This thing going to have slipstream on him. Coming into the Parabolica. Let's see what the time's going to be. Off of the green, that's what you want to do. Jamian comes across the line. It is going to be a 118.8, and that is pole position unless one of the McLarens can beat him or even possibly Sweet Crown 19. Purple again,
yeah,
Sector 2 for Sweet Crown 19, and he is valid this time through the Ascari chicane. Sweet Crown 19 trying to challenge for pole position here. It's invalidation for Biz. Isaac Kush is coming into Parabolica now. I believe Sweet Crown 19 will come across the line first, though. What will this time be for Sweet Crown 19? He comes across the line. It's not pole position. It's only second. Isaac Kush does not get ahead of him. So second for Sweet Crown 19.
I was going to say, Jared, he's at a purple Sector 2. He's coming around Parabolica now. Hasn't set a time. The time is valid. What's he going to do as he crosses the line? Takes
second,
P2
down to third for him. Pube comes across the line. Where does he go? Sixth on the grid.
I get to see where he ended up.
Pube finishes sixth on the grid, but Sweet Crown 19 finally gets a time on the board, but it's only third fastest in Q3. Let's go over that lineup, ladies and gentlemen. Jamian on pole, Jaren second, Sweet Crown 19 in third, Kush in fourth, and Biz in fifth. There's your top 5. The rest of the order in Q3, it's Pubed, ISRL Gurman, ISRL Pretzels, and Josh 2. What a Q3 here, ladies and gentlemen. The drama we've seen.
And if you're at home, maybe take your cameras out for this one. You're not going to see this every day. Where Sweet Crown 19, not only did he not get pole, as we've been so accustomed to seeing, he's not even starting from the front row of the grid. He's
in the pack. That's the last thing you want to be in this track.
Yep, and this is sort of uncharted territory for Sweet Crown 19, actually having to not starting from the front row. So we'll have to see how he handles it come race time, where he might actually end up sandwiched going into turn 1. But honestly, I'm excited for the race. I mean, I was before, but even more so now. We might actually have a battle on our hands.
Let's get going, ladies and gentlemen. It is cloudy skies here in Monza. Again, there is no rain expected in the race. So, session starting in about 25 seconds time.
Yep, and I was about to say, normally we do end up taking a bit of a break just to let everybody take a breather, but it seems like we're gonna get going sooner rather than later, which honestly, good news for us, good news for everybody watching at home, because you know, quicker we get to some racing, the quicker we can see some action.
Let's get started, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
And there's that one red light, and we are on with the formation lap. Let's go over your starting lineup for this 2020 ISRL Esports Italian Grand Prix in Tier 1. It's Jamie on pole, Jer on the front row of the grid next to him. Sweet Crown 19 in third position, unaccustomed to where we're seeing him in the past. Isaac Cushion 4th for Biz Racing, and 2 McLarens in a pretty good position in this race. Pubed, Sweet Crown 19's teammate in 6th position. Not the best for him. He would have liked to have been further up the grid. ISRL Gurman in 7th. Pretzels, the sister team to the Red Bull, in 8th. Josh 2 and Sophie and the 2 Ferraris sitting 9th and 10th on the grid, so they're next to each other, but in the mid-pack. ISRL Knight got knocked out of qualifying. He sits 11th on the grid. Blinn Machine in 12th. ISRL Vito in 13th. Dan Murphy, the teammate to Blinn, in 14th. Young Lights and Scar Logan are in 15th and 16th in the Haas's. Catastrophic and the Deck are 17th and 18th, respectively, for the Racing Point cars. And then it's Stunik and Carter, who are 19th and 20th, down at near the bottom of the racetrack right there as well. So there is your lineup as we get ready for action here in Monza.
Oh yeah, and I'm looking at the tire selection. Of course, the top 10, they're on the soft tires. Knight in 11th, he also chose the soft tires, but from 12th all the way down to 18th, so from Blinn all the way to the Deck, they're all on the medium tires, so they're going to operate a bit of a different strategy compared to the top runners. So we'll see if that actually can play into their advantage, just being able to go a little bit longer. Then you've got Stunik and Carter. They're from the back of the grid, starting on the soft tires. They're probably just hoping for that pure pace, just to make it back up to the grid. So I was seeing lots of drivers going on the grass there during this formation lap. Not too sure what's happening. Maybe
I think it's a lot of drivers who still don't know how to drive under a formation lap. I don't know why this is such a problem, but drivers seem to have problems going slow.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, when you're in a Formula 1 car, I don't really blame them. You know, you want to go fast, you don't really want to go slow, but either way, we're about
there's Jamian lining up. It's Jer next to him. Front row of the grid is a Renault and a Mercedes. There's Sweet Crown 19 in 3rd, Cush in 4th. There's your top 5. As about all the drivers are lined up now. Let's get ready for the 5 red lights here in Monza for round number 5. The Italian Grand Prix coming up in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. We're just getting ready for the lights. And it's 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. The 5 lights are on. And the lights are out, and away we go. It's a drive-through penalty for Catastrophic as he jumped the start. It's a great start by Jamian, and he's cutting off Jer, who tried to go on the inside, and he covered him well. Coming into turn number 1, it's Jamian who leads the Grand Prix, and it's a great start by one of the McLarens. It's Cush who moves up to 3rd, Sweet Crown 19 down to 4th. And we see right there Pretzels and Gurman who are going side by side, and then Pretzels gets ahead of him. Biz Racing in 5th. He's gaining on Sweet Crown 19, might make a move into the next chicane. Coming around on the outside, will he make the move on the Williams? They make contact a little bit there, then he jumps into the air, and there's one of the McLarens off. It's Kush who had a great start into this race, but there is Biz Racing, Sweet Crown 19 up to 5th, and we've had, Gurman down a few positions. He's had a big crash, and always into the wall. Into the wall with the, and again, more front wing comes off of him. And look at the top two here. Big lead for them. It's Jamie and lead on Jamie. It's off track. But Jer slows up. I think he was scared. There's a safety car deployed.
Safety car out.
No cars are out of the race, so I think it was just a lot of front wings on track. But there's a safety car deployed, and it's only lap number 1.
Yep, tough. I gotta say, solid start for Jamie 1 and Jer. I gotta say, it's very too bad for Isaac to unfortunately have the incident, fell down the grid. Gernman as well, as we saw, he got caught facing the wall. Might have been a bit of a cause of the safety car. Even I didn't get to see what happened to Blind Machine, but he's all the way down in last there.
Sweet Crown 19 pits. So does Pube. Does he have damage? He doesn't. So he's going onto the medium tires, and this is a bit of an interesting strategy. Many drivers switching off of their catastrophic. I don't know why he's coming in. He's on the medium tires, so there's no reason I can imagine why he'd want to come in. He's just going to put on hard tires for the race. So that's very interesting. Trying to go long in here.
Yep, and thankfully, Sweet Crown and Cube, they didn't, Cube wasn't too affected by the, basically both Williams cars going into the pits there, because they're still one behind another, so that could have been much worse for Cube, with the double stack. But yeah, I'm not too sure this early on why you'd want to get into the pits, because I really don't think you'll be able to take the medium tires, 25 laps. I think
they're going to want to go soft, medium, soft. We're asking for position gains, so look at that. Stunek and Carter are up to 8th and 9th. They've gained 11 positions in this race. Down 12 positions is Kush. Down 12 positions is Gurman. Blind Machines lost 8 positions. Down 9 is Sweet Crown 19. Of course, he didn't make that pit stop. Jer and Jamie and all keep their relative positions to where they were at the start of the race, and we see pretty much the entire rest of the grid have all gained a massive amount of positions, except maybe Biz Racing, only 2 positions gained, but still on the podium right now, as we're on lap number 2 here, under safety car conditions in Monza.
Oh yeah, and we're seeing lots of medium tires now, a few hard tires like we were mentioning from Catastrophic and Blind Machine. I guess they're looking to go the distance, but you know, they're not really going to have too
into
much
the pits
pace,
is
so.
Pretzels. Makes a pit stop.
Oh, Pretzels.
So is he going to try hard? So he's on the medium, so I think he's going to try another hard. We're going to see another. Oh, he has to replace his front wing as well. And he puts on softs. No, hards. Okay. It was like softs for a second there, but he puts on hards, and he's going to put on a new front wing. So he's going to go quite long into this race as well. I don't know what the tire life for the hard tires is on Monza, but I'm sure it's quite a long time. This tire wear is not a huge issue around here.
Oh no, it's just in the Temple of Speed, you're not really going to have much of the speed, much of the grip. But if you know that a lot of the other drivers, they're going to have to pit again. I really, like I said, I don't see them. I don't see the medium tires last until the end of the race.
I do want to mention.
I know the.
I just want to mention Young Lights, 6th on the grid. So remember, Young Lights had set a 119.8 in Q1. That would have easily got him in the Q2, but he crashed out. He's up to 6th on the grid already in this race, though he's not again on that medium tire. I don't know if these are 2-lap full mediums. So he started the race on those medium tires. So. It's going to be interesting if he can make it up the grid.
Oh yeah, same thing with Dan Murphy. He also started on the medium tires. He's sitting in a good spot right now, in that P7. But I'm sure once the race starts, they're gonna feel the pressure from both Stunek and Carter, who, you know, they're on the soft tires. I know they both have pace. as much as Carter was keeping his pace pretty secretive from not going out to do a qualifying lap. But
well, I guess it didn't matter because he's finding himself in the top 10.
Yeah, found in the top 10, and honestly, I do see them put some pressure on Young Lights and Dan Murphy.
That's what makes, especially lap number 1 of Monza, so interesting, is that you can have so many position changes. And look at this, pretty much the entire top half of the grid right now are all drivers who are outside of the top 10. So pretty amazing. The grid we see right now, J-Man and Jer are your only changes. Sweet Crown 19 is in 12th right now on the grid. And again, we know Sweet Crown 19's fast, but that is a very hard tower to climb at a track like this. We'll have to wait and see if he can put himself into win contention here. We've seen weirder things, and we even saw in Japan, it wasn't a clear, sure way that he was going to win that race, but he still won it anyway, so we'll have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, like we saw it in Japan. We even saw it in Interlagos, where with the whole weather issue in Interlagos, I remember Sweet Crown 19. He didn't quite time the pit stop. Tutu Wright was stuck an extra lap on the tires he shouldn't be on. That bumped him all the way down to the bottom of the grid. But at the same time, he was able to climb his way back up and
safety car
take the win. Yep. So. We're about to find out soon enough what happens here on the restart.
J-Man will be the safety car, essentially, as he will control the field coming towards the Parabolica. And let's see, as we get ready for green flag conditions here at Monza, who is going to get the best off the line. I'm going to ride on board of Jer. Look at this, right behind the rear diffuser of J-Man. He wants to get the best start possible and put himself into the lead here as J-Man gets away early. And here we go, getting ready for green flag again. You still have to wait for that safety car 1 line to make your overtakes. And here we go, green flag here in Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. And it's a great start by Jer in the slipstream right now. Coming into turn number 1, there's already going to be a challenge on the inside. Oh, now coming onto the outside lane, and no, J-Man gets a good, he outbroke himself wide. There. Jared comes across, he will take the lead. He's going to lose a lot of positions here. J-Man, he's going to move to 4th, and just behind, here comes Knight on the inside, coming into the Curva Grande. He will take 4th position, J-Man down to 5th, and it's been a terrible start for him. They're still side by side, and then J-Man breaks later, gets himself back into 4th. Knight's still going to try to challenge here. You can see maybe into the Lesmo, looks on the inside there, but a little bit too far back. Maybe into the 2nd Lesmo. He's still keeping that possibility open.
Oh, no. I was going to say the deck is going very slowly, so I'm not too sure if there's an issue with the front wing, an issue with the car. But I saw
yellow flag sector 2. Scarlo has had an incident. He's down a position. He's dropped 2 positions now. Does he have front wing damage? Can't quite make it out. And no, he is okay to go, but he is going quite slow through the Ascari chicane right there. Sweet Crown 19 up to 10th. But he is quite far back from Estunic. Josh 2, and now Jamie, and again runs wide. Now Josh 2 is going to take that position, slots behind him right there, and it's a fastest lap for Jer. It's a 123.0, and here we go. Coming into turn number 1, it's Jamie who's going to try to make a move on Josh 2 in the turn number 1. He might make it before the turn. He brakes later, gets the move on him, maybe a switchback by the Ferrari. Knight still trying to get involved, and this is a big 3-way battle right now as here comes Knight trying to make it a move around the outside of Josh 2 into the Curva Grande, still side by side out of the exit. There is Jamie and leading away a little bit more, still side by side on the inside is going to be Knight, and I think he will make the move on Josh 2. Yes, he will. A great little scene right there, and Knight up the 4th.
Yeah, that was a solid battle by the two of them. But I guess Knight just had a bit more traction, had the pace a little bit more. I mean, probably a good thing from Josh to even back out a little bit, because if you end up trying to go side by side, when you go into the Lesmos side by side, it's only going to end one way, and that is not good.
Sweet Crown 19 is up to 9th, ahead of Estunic. And look at this, Pretzels has made a move on Blend Machine, and they're still battling through Ascari. Wow, what battling! Blend Machine still ahead of Pretzels. There was a little bit of knocking and shoving there out of Ascari, but the racing at the back of the field here, even here, is amazing. DRS is now enabled on this lap, so we're going to see some big overtakes, I think, coming very, very soon. Jamian is pretty fast on track right now, sitting third behind Biz Racing. Knight is in fourth. Josh 2 very much behind him as they come towards the Curva Grande.
Oh, wow, Knight went, it almost looked like Josh 2 had a bit of a moment there, thinking about making a move out of turn 2. Thought a little bit better of it as Knight went a little bit wide.
Super close at the Curva Grande. He's going to move on the inside. He's going to try it. Dan Murphy tries the outside lane and then just cuts across of Young Lights. Oh, look at this!
Nice
Josh 2 ahead of Knight.
2.
Coming into the Lesmo.
Yeah, nice little switchback into turn 3 and 4 and 5 there. Sorry, we're
off track is Knight. Knight takes too much grass on the exit. Dan Murphy will take him. Young Lights might try to get involved here as well, as he is just watching and lurking, possibly going to make a move, and he makes it right on the inside of Knight. That was a ballsy move right there. It didn't necessarily work. And now coming out of Ascari, he's going to try again, coming down towards the Parabolica. What scenes we've seen early on in this race at lap number 7. And here comes ISRL Carter on the inside of Young Lights, and he gets the move. Still not completely done. Yes, now he makes the move. He's going to have DRS, I believe, on ISRL Knight. Knight does not have, no, there he goes, DRS activated, but he's big slipstream right now. Look at this. It's Carter trying to get Knight. Let's see if he can make the move. Coming on the inside. He just about gets it. They're bumping wheels right there through turn number 1. Can't make it happen.
Yep, and Dan Murphy passed Josh 2 for 4th, and after all the issues Jamie 1 was having in the first few laps, he's back up into 2nd.
I'll be back in just a minute right here, ladies and gentlemen, just a minute. So can you take over for just a second?
Yeah, of course. All right, so I don't quite have the stream open in front of me. I'm not too sure what you're seeing, but like I was mentioning, Jamie 1, with all the issues he was having, he's all the way, he's back up into P2, although this racing keeping him honest. Solid race by Dan Murphy with Josh 2 right behind him. And actually, here we go. Sweet Car 19 makes a move on Carter. Seems fairly easily for him with the pace he's got in that Williams car. But yeah, so Sweet Car 19 up into P7. Trying to keep an eye out and see what's going on, but yeah, so Sweet Car 19 working his way back up the grid, it seems. Here, bear with me a moment. I'll actually get the stream open to
I am back, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, perfect. Missed too much. Sweet Car 19, like I was saying, he's up into 7th.
This is trying to make a move on Knight into turn number 1. Just about has to stay behind him.
Yeah, not quite enough room there for him. Stunik and Vito looks like they're going side by side now as they're exiting the first turn there. Nice little gaggle of cars from
here comes Knight on Josh 2, a late move into the chicane. They made contact, they bumped wheels there. Here comes Sweet Car 19 and a big loss for Josh there. And here comes Carter now. This is amazing racing right here through Lesmo. Still around the outside, takes a very wide line and cuts across Young Lights there. That could have been very dangerous. Now through the second Lesmo, Young Lights on the inside has taken the position. He loses again, and now Josh 2 down to 10th. It's been a terrible couple of corners for the Ferrari there. And Sweet Crown 19 now up to 5th, ahead of Knight coming through Ascari. So Sweet Crown 19 again showing why he is so dominant, up to 5th already on lap number 9.
Oh yeah, and also down the track we've got a nice little battle going on from for a while there from seemed like basically P11 all the way down. A nice little string of cars, but yeah, solid drive by Sweet Crown 19, making the recovery, making his way back up to 5th. Got a bit of a gap to try to catch up to Dan Murphy, but if anybody can do it, that is Sweet Car 19.
Here comes Pugh on Young Lights on the inside into the first turn. He's going to try to make the move. That's a pretty late dive. Still trying to keep it around the outside. They make contact. He gets pushed off track a little bit by Young Lights, it looks like there, and he keeps the position. And now Pugh just lost the position to Josh 2 as well. So bad turn right there for Pugh, and he's down to 10th.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you gotta feel for Josh too there. I don't know if it was just the tire wear and what happened, but he basically sunk down the positions on that last lap, and he fell all the way down to P9. And oh no, Jamie won left the session. So his car is now being taken over by an AI driver, which is really unfortunate for him. I hope he can get back into the lobby sooner rather than later.
Look at this. I want to ride on board right now with Estunik. He's having a battle with Scarlo right now, coming towards Ascari. This is going to be interesting. Will they go side by side into this turn? They do go side. There is contact, and then it's Estunik who has to go off track, and he loses 2 positions in that corner there. They made contact coming into the turn. It looked like Scarlo kind of moved over a little bit and gave him a little bit of a bump, and Estunik had to take a little bit of an off-road there position, and he's lost a few positions, down in 17th right now as we see a few pits, and it's Biz Racing and Jamie and into the pits.
Yep, so they both went into the pits, so it's buying a bit of time at least for Jamie to get back into the session. But I do hope he can get back in soon, because that was a solid start from him. And it would be a bit of a heartbreak for him if he lost it all just due to connection issues.
Biz Racing and Jamie are racing out of the exit here, and now there is Jamie, and again his car is not in control right now. I don't know what I believe the AI set around 40. Pretty action-packed Italian Grand Prix here. We're on lap number 11 of 27. There is Carter behind Knight. So the 2 ISRL boys right there in 4th and 5th. Carter looking to get ahead of Knight. And pretty good out of Ascari right there in a slipstream of the Red Bull, who is not going to have DRS, I want to mention right here. Coming into the Parabolica. He might try to make the move here. Stays behind him ultimately. Here we go with DRS. Knight will not have it. This is going to be bad news for ISRL Knight, and into the pits, both of them into the pits. So does Jer into the pits. Dan Murphy takes the lead. Sweetcar 19 is up to 2nd, but again, we have to mention it. Sweetcar 19 taking that chance with the medium tires. He still has to pit again. I'd be shocked if he makes those tires last till the end.
Oh yeah, I know Sweetcar is good with the tire wear, but like I really don't think those medium tires are going to go all the way to the end. So all of basically the top 8s and even Scarlo there, I do think they're probably going to have to make at least one more pit stop before the end of this race. But here we go. Cube's actually having some good pace, catching up to Young Lights. As I'm trying to see if
look at this. Pretzels was off track there. Gurman overtaken by Scarlo. This is the battle for around 8th position, as they're all very close to one another. Carter has a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so that's one of our first corner cutting penalties here. Look at this. Gurman with DRS. He's going to make a late move on Scarlo coming into the Ascari chicane. He makes the move before Ascari. A great move by him, and Gurman is up to 8th. Scarlo in 9th. Pretzels now trying to get back up into that battle. And, One Machine had a scary situation out of the Ascari there. He grabbed the curb there with his tires, and he almost went into the wall there, and that could have been another safety car right then and there.
Yeah, thankfully he was able to save it. Cube was actually able to make a move on Young Lights, but here we go. Speaking of, Young Lights is coming back right at him now into the first turn.
Ooh, that's a cut by Cube. Cube will give back up the position.
Gives the spot away there. But it's a good battle going on, as now Sweetcar 19, he's caught up to Dan Murphy for the lead. So we might have a bit of a battle going on for P1. Haven't gotten to say that as much as I'd like, but here we are now.
It's Alfa Romeo versus Williams.
Yeah, no better place to have this battle than the Temple of Speed Monza here. But let's see. We'll have to see who can come out victorious, because I do think both of these drivers will pit. Oh my goodness, Young Lights and Cube going nearly side by side. Oh my goodness,
what a battle these guys are having for the final podium position here. This is going to go down till the end of the race, I believe. So may Sweetcar 19, and whoever happens to be in first. Right now it's Dan Murphy. But again, Sweetcar 19, I do believe will have to pit again. He's on 11 lap old mediums right now. Most of these drivers, in fact, will have to pit again. I don't know about the hard tire drivers. They might go to the end. It's going to be tough, that one. I'm going to try to ride on board of Pretzels. You can see very close. Oh, Scarlo's out of the race. Scarlo's car is ghosted. Deck has a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings.
Yeah, but I think Scarlo probably had a bit of connection issues similar to what happened with Jamie 1. Jamie 1, he's able to get back in, but from what I can see, he's unable to take control of his car. So that's very unfortunate for him, since as we know, once the AI takes control of the car, the pace isn't really there anymore. And after, nope, all right, he's done. So very unfortunate scenes for Jamie 1, as that's his race over, pretty much just like that. Due to connection issues after having such a good start, such a good qualifying, and you know, he was in for a good race today, I feel. So that's you got to feel
really
for
wide.
Like
Young Lights out of Ascari. Pube now going to make the move before Parabolica should make it easily. He does so again. Pube and Young Lights have been battling. Almost goes in the back of him, breaking into Parabolica. That could have been very nasty indeed for Young Lights in the Haas there. He's going to have DRS coming down the straight, so we're probably going to see another move coming into turn 1. Pube pretty much a sitting duck right here. Let's see if we see a big move, and it's going to be around the outside. This is going to be nasty here, as that was a little unstable coming into the turn. They just don't make contact, and now slots behind the Williams. There's a McLaren now getting involved. Young Lights with pretty good slips. Look at this, kind of almost a side drag, that feels like. Coming into the turn, the second chicane, they do make contact right there, and it gets pushed a little bit by Pube. Nothing really that Pube's fault. Maybe more wonky physics, as that was quite a light tap, but nonetheless, it said Young Light a little bit back off, and he will drop down to 4th. Pube is in 3rd. Isaac Kush now trying to get involved in this battle.
Yeah, he's been trying to get involved for a while, but when the drivers are side by side, for Isaac, he had no room to go, no room on track to actually make a move. So he just had to sit calmly behind these two drivers, and lost a little bit of time. And he's gonna have to watch out for Vito, who's you know, not right up behind him, but if he's not careful, that could Vito could definitely catch Isaac napping.
Sweet Crown 19 has taken the lead of the Italian Grand Prix away from Dan Murphy, but the real question is, can Sweet Crown 19 win this race, considering we do believe he will have to make another pit stop? Into the pits is Vito.
Yeah, so Vito's getting out for those medium tires.
Lots of softs. So yeah, this is about soft territory now. These tires will last about 10, 11 laps if you're nice to them. So we'll have to wait and see if he can make it till the end here on those soft tires. He'll be very quick on track, of course, but near the end he'll start to fall off a little bit.
Oh yeah, this is probably where we're going to start.
Young Lights, 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. He's trying to move on the inside of Pube into the first Lesmo. What a move! He made it happen.
Made it work.
Wow.
Oh, that actually, I was going to say Isaac for a second. He saw the opportunity, tried to take it, but
there's a spin, and Biz Racing's had a spin. He was making a move with Blinn, I believe. They're side by side a little bit there, but Biz Racing has had a spin. He's got major front wing damage on the car. I don't know if there was contact between the drivers, but he is down to 14th and will surely have to make a pit stop. Look at this through Ascari. Jaron Pretzels up to 7th. Pubed and Isaac now are making a battle right now, side by side through the Parabolica. Young Lights ahead of this little pack of cars right here, and Dan Murphy has a 5-second penalty for speeding and pulling Young Lights into the pits. Pubed has a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well.
Yeah, so we're as we suspected, these drivers are going into the pits. They're getting off those medium tires, but Sweet Crown 19, he's staying out. He's staying out for at least another lap, but that was a nice battle between Young Lights and Pubed while we had it with the medium tires, and even with Isaac taking part in that too. That was a nice little three-way battle that we got to see.
Gurman has a fastest lap on him. It's a 1:21.9. He's outside of the points right now, so all it's doing is stealing a point away from somebody potentially. So Sweet Crown 19 is your leader by about 9.4 seconds. No pit stop yet from him just yet, but I presume he's trying to extend it as much as possible ahead of Izat and possibly get himself into a position of a good position into his pit stop. Let's see if he makes a pit stop on lap number 17. And Kush has a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, and that's not what he wants late into the stages of this race. Here comes Sweet Crown 19 around Parabolica. Does he make his pit stop? No, he stays out.
Nope, he's going on for another lap, but I can see the gap is very slowly shrinking. Not by incredible numbers, but it was at 9.5. Now it's down to about 9.2. So I think the pace is starting to fall off at least a little bit for Sweet Crown 19.
Look at this,
so you might want to consider.
Carter's having a battle with Josh 2 right now. Mercedes versus Ferrari. They're not at the top of the grid. They're in the mid-pack. Let's see if he can make a move. DRS activated. And we'll have to wait and see. I think it's a little bit too far back. Oh, he might make... He's going to make a dive bomb into the turn. Wow. That was very, very interesting, but it didn't work, unfortunately, for Carter.
Yeah,
he had his front wing in there.
Bit of an eager move to try to
here we go.
Carter
coming around the Curva Grande, he might make the move onto the grass, and that's a little bit of Sebastian Vettel right there on Alonso, and he makes the move on Josh 2. What a move for 7th position in this race.
Yep. Oh no, Biz Racing took a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Retired.
Won't matter too much since he's retired into the pit lane. I guess that's his race over for him. Not seeing it worth it to continue onwards. But now let's see, was Sweet Crown 19
into the pits.
He going into the pits?
Into the pits for Sweet Crown 19. Izat Kush is going to take the lead of the Italian Grand Prix.
Unless he decides to pit too, is he going to want to?
He does.
I think he's going into the pits, yeah, to try to match.
So
match
Fian
Sweet
takes
Crown.
the lead.
Yeah, but I do have to say, Josh 2, Carter, Dan Murphy, there's a nice little three-way battle going on here.
I want to talk about Jer here. I think Jer is in the best position to win this Grand Prix. Look at that. 7 old mediums. So he's going to go till the end. And he's going to have better tires than the guys on the soft tires near the end of this race. Sweet Crown 19 goes on to the softs. And, oh, that's going to be 4 for him. There's a McLaren on, and Isaac Kush. There's just a McLaren Strata right there. Biz Racing came out of the pit lane, and his car is ghosted, just stranded onto turn number 1. So I don't know what's going on there. But Sweet Crown 19 is in 4.
Yep, 5-second gap, it seems to...
I want to talk about Pretzels. Look at this. 3rd on the grid. Now, I don't know how long this will last for him, but 16 old hards, and he is 3rd on the grid, so that's been a good race for him. Now, this is the question. Does Sweet Crown 19 have the time to get back up to 1st and to possibly win this race? Those softs are going to be very fast at the start, but maybe near the end, maybe towards the last lap, is he going to have that extra grip ahead of Jer to possibly win this race?
Nice little move. Nice little move by Vito. Young Lights gets great traction. Showing up out of nowhere, making a move. Even, oh my goodness.
Look at this battle down the train here with Josh 2, Knight. Sweet Crown 19's a little bit further ahead of that pack there, so Fian into the pits. Sweet Crown 19 will get up to 3rd. Pretzel still in 2nd. Jer will take the lead of this race. Look at this battle right now for 4th position. Look at this, a big move by Dan Murphy. He cuts a major part of the track, and he's going to give back up those positions, as that was a major cut of the track right there, and I think he tried to make a move that really wasn't possible. Running on board of Pube right now. He's trying to make a move around the outside into the Curva Grande. Knight covers him off. He cuts him again. That's a kind of a swerving move he had to make there, trying to find a position to make the overtake. Just didn't happen.
Yeah, and I gotta say, Dan Murphy, I think he got a little too eager, tried to make the move, just, didn't have the braking, didn't really, with the tires, just didn't have enough time to brake. So, I mean, I've done that too, where just, to try to avoid an accident, just fly right through the corner.
Look at this, coming towards Ascari. They're side by side. And and he gets ahead of him. Pube takes 5th position away from ISRL Knight coming out of Ascari.
Josh had a bit of a scary moment coming out of Ascari. Lost the back end a little bit, and it looks like Pube is actually going to take advantage of that and jump up from the 4th.
Here's coming Sweet Crown 19 on Pretzels. We knew it was going to happen eventually. 18 old hards. Very hard to manage that. Sweet Crown 19 coming up towards Pretzels. This move should happen very quickly here. And now bad exit for out of turn number 2. And here comes Sweet Crown 19, who will take 2nd position in this Italian Grand Prix. Now it's go time. 4.3 seconds is the gap. Lap 21 of 27. Can Sweet Crown 19 get back up to 1st? Can he still win this Italian Grand Prix through everything?
We'll see. He put himself in a good spot, but he still has 4 seconds to go before catching up to Jer. But he is on the faster compound. It's just will the tires for Sweet Crown 19 be able to last long enough to make the move and keep the move over Jer, who we've seen time and time again. He's got the pace. Oh my goodness. Sorry, on my screen, Knight went a little bit wide, leaving the second Lesmos, and Young Lights was able to capitalize on that and get past for P7. But
Young Lights has had an amazing race. If we really talk about it, he has not been on for a few races. He's back again, and he's had a fantastic race, sitting in P7 right now. He does have a penalty over him, though, that Knight does not have. Here comes Kush. Kush is trying to challenge on the inside in the Parabolica, a little bit too far back, though. And look at this. Dan Murphy is having a battle with Josh 2. It's Ferrari versus Alfa Romeo, and the Alfa Romeo wins out on this one, but he's going to have DRS on Dan Murphy. So will Dan Murphy have DRS, so this is a little interesting right here, as they're going to come into turn number 1. It's going to be a late move by Josh 2 on the inside, coming into the chicane. Who gets ahead of who? Wow, this is very close.
See, Knight's switch.
Oh, Young Light spin round. He's been spun by Knight, it looked like.
No.
And he is down to 12th inside the points. Has lost that position now. And I think that was just a little unfortunate. It was a very close battle with everybody. As look at this, Vito making a move on Knight, coming into the 2nd chicane, and will take 8th position away from Knight. I don't know if Knight has damage. Now he hits the back of him. He might have gained damage there as well. I don't know. Coming into the first Lesmo, no damage on the front wing for Knight that we can visually see right now. But that was an unfortunate situation for Young Lights, and he's down in 12th right now.
Yeah, very unfortunate for him. He was geared for a pretty solid finish, but I guess it's a part of racing. Incidents do happen. I can't speak much on the incident
on the inside, still making contact. Knight,
and that's Knight.
It's a big crash, and Knight has been off, and he is crashed, and he has front wing damage. And that is Young Lights back ahead of him. It is ISRL Knight who is side by side, and he has lost out with against Vito, and he went off track. He hit the wall, and that is front wing damage. There's an end plate off that car. I think he'll stay out. It's not a huge amount of damage. Or will he make a pit stop, go onto the softs, go for fastest lap? I think that's what he wants to do. He's into the pits. Unfortunate for Knight. Down from 12th, and we'll go further down the grid. And look at this, Vito trying to make a challenge on, what's that, Sofian, and he did not make the challenge correctly. Josh 2 is down to 7th on the grid, and Kush and Dan Murphy are battling. I want to talk about the gap to the lead. 2 seconds, lap 23 of 27. You can see in the distance, there is the Renault, down under 2 seconds. It's going to get close here at the end of this race.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a crazy last few laps, especially for the lead. We're down to under a 2-second gap. Sweet Crown 19 is probably just getting into the comfortable operating spot for his tires. But I mean, Jer's tires are only 11 laps old, so as much as they're medium tires, they're probably in a pretty ideal range too. So this is gonna be fun to see. As we're gonna start lap 24 now, it seems. So with 3 laps to go, I think we're in for a nice treat for the lead. That's something I wish we could say more often, but you know, here we go. We're gonna have it here. Thankfully, either way, in the meantime, this midfield battle that we just keep seeing is that making a move on Dan Murphy, going down the start-finish straight. But thankfully, this midfield battle has kind of kept us occupied in the meantime to build up for this battle for the lead.
Make sure to follow us in just a few moments here, ladies and gentlemen. After the race, there is the GT Sport Championship, and they're racing around Interlagos for the second to last round in the championship. You can actually watch me because I'll be making my debut there as well in the Porsche 911. So make sure to watch that one, ladies and gentlemen. It's coming up in just a few moments after the Italian Grand Prix here in Tier 1. Now just about a second separating Sweet Crown 19 and Jer. And you thought maybe it's possible. There's not too many laps to go in this race. They're going to come now towards the third to last lap, but under a second now. I think Sweet Crown 19 should be able to challenge here. It's going to be interesting, this battle for first.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be exciting to see as we're down to the last two laps to go nearly, or 3 laps to go. Math is a little bit hard for me. I mean, I'm keeping an eye in the meantime on Sophian and Josh too.
This is close, guys. This is really close. Back on the rear diffuser of Sweet Crown 19, right near Jer. It's going to get closer, ladies and gentlemen, coming into the Curva Grande. Jer does not have a great line through there. Here comes Sweet Crown 19. Can he make a move into the chicane? He's going to look at it. This is really, really close for the lead of this race. Jer takes a little bit of dirt on him coming into the first Lesmo. This is so close, ladies and gentlemen. May he make a move into the second Lesmo? We'll have to wait and see. But now onto this DRS straight. I think he's a sitting duck right here. And I believe Sweet Crown 19 will take the lead of the Italian Grand Prix unless Jer has something to say about it. Coming into the Ascari chicane, and there's the lead for Sweet Crown 19. He has taken the lead of the Italian Grand Prix on the third to last lap. And Sweet Crown 19 through everything. Josh 2 is out of this race, and he has crashed out of the exit of the first Lesmo, and that's so unfortunate for him. And he is out of the points. He has had a pretty up and down race, but he was doing well. But he is out of it, ladies and gentlemen, near the end of the race.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Josh too, especially with so little time to go that he has to crash out like that. But that just goes to show the tire wear and how that can affect. And we even saw it with Jared too, as he nearly lost it in oh my goodness, Ascari after Sweet Crown 19 made the move. And yeah, look at that. Sweet Crown 19 is already built up nearly a 2-second gap to Jer. In just this short amount of time after having made the move, not even a lap ago.
I want to talk about Pretzels here. 23 old hards. Cubed is in 4th. 2.3 seconds is that gap with only 2 laps left to go, not even. Pretzels, as he pulled off the driver of the day right here, getting onto the podium with that hard tire strategy.
Oh yeah, if he can make it work, definitely a driver of the day candidate there. Just from the strategy alone. I know this might not be a popular thought given, but honestly, I do want to say Sweet Crown 19 could even be a driver of the day.
He's definitely,
just because, like, even if he wins, the way he was able to pull off the victory. Because it wasn't one of those Lewis Hamilton start on pole.
Look at this. I just want to talk about, I want to interrupt here. Dan Murphy and Isaac Cush were battling side by side there, coming into the Parabolica. Cush has taken 5th position. Dan Murphy down to 6th. There was a big late dive there by Cush, and he made the move into the Parabolica. We begin the final lap of this Grand Prix. Sweet Crown 19 in the lead. Jer in 2nd. Pretzels is in 3rd. Pew behind him 2.5 seconds. He should take that podium position unless something happens here. But Dan Murphy inside of a second on Cush for battling for 5th.
Yeah, but I mean, Dan Murphy's had a pretty solid race. He's up 8 spots now from where he started the race. Even Carter's starting from the back of the grid to be able to work his way up to, I mean, at least 8 point. That's a pretty solid drive from him, I do have to say. Here now that we're approaching the end of the race, but still a little bit of racing to go. We'll see if Dan Murphy can do anything. Maybe pass Isaac to try to get up into P5, get a few more points before the race is over.
Coming into Ascari, not able to make the move on Isaac Cush. Through Ascari, we'll have to wait and see. Does he survive? Okay, he does. I think Isaac Cush will take that position. But Sweet Crown 19 is going to win the Italian Grand Prix Jaron second. Pretzels is coming across the line, and unless there's an outstanding penalty that I'm not aware of, he's going to finish third on 24-lap Old Hards. A glorious strategy for him. And yes, he does get the podium. Push up to fourth. Dan Murphy and down to sixth with penalties.
Yeah, Pugh got pushed way down. He crossed the line
even
at fourth,
more.
and he's still falling.
Still falling. Is he going to fall? I don't think he'll fall out of the points. But ninth only for him.
But all the way down to ninth and due to penalties there. So
Pretzels with the podium. Wow, 20. Look at that, 25-lap Old Hard. There's been 2 laps he was on another tire, and he got onto the podium. That, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, is driver of the day right there.
Oh yeah, definitely a candidate at the very least for driver of the day. But surviving 25 out of 27 laps on the hard tires, nonetheless. Which anybody who's played this game knows the hard tires.
Useless. I hate the hard tires.
Yeah, that's probably, I couldn't have put it any better. You don't really see them all that much, and to be able to take them all the way up to a podium for that long, that's impressive. If you're for Pretzels. Solid drive from him.
And there's the podium. Sweet Crown 19 wins the Italian Grand Prix, and champagne will fly here for him. And it was a big mountain to climb, but he did it anyway. And there's Jer on the podium next to him, and you have Pretzels with a podium. What an amazing drive from him. What an amazing Italian Grand Prix here, ladies and gentlemen. I do have to get ready for that GT Sport race. So, unfortunately, I won't be able to do post-race interviews with you, ladies and gentlemen. But thank you so much for watching this Italian Grand Prix. I've been so thankful to commentate with Fallen Monkeys. Great to have you in the commentary booth. You always do a great job, and great to have everybody hearing you as well this time. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure to tune in just a few moments for the GT Sport Championship. We're going to Interlagos. It's going to be a good one, folks, just as well as it was here in Monza. Thank you for watching ISRL Esports. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to hit the bell notification to make sure you never miss a race here in ISRL Esports. This is IGKX or Noah Clark signing off. Thank you, and have yourselves a wonderful day.